While everyone is losing their mind over whether the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X is going to be the better console, we know that what's on the spec sheet doesn't make or break a console. Games do. So let's switch things up a bit and take a look at how exclusive games will make a difference in the next generation console war. You could have all the fanciest, most advanced technology crammed into your little console, but if the games on that console aren't up to snuff, then your system probably isn't going to be a hit among both hardcore and casual gamers. It's equivalent to having a gaming PC that you only play Minesweeper on. It's a load of missed potential, and it'll leave a sour taste in the mouth of consumers. If Sony or Microsoft want to dominate the upcoming generation, they're going to need developers to take full advantage of the technology available in their consoles. So let's take a look at the PS5 first. Let's face it, the PS5 doesn't have the raw power that the Xbox Series X does, but what it does have is a more impressive SSD. To push the console to its absolute limit, developers are going to have to really focus on optimizing their games for the SSD of the console. The PS5's SSD is much faster than the Xbox Series X's, with speeds up to 5.5 gigabytes per second. Just to put things into perspective, the Xbox Series X's SSD is capable of speeds up to 2.4 gigabytes per second. Yeah, the PS5's SSD is more than twice as fast as the Xbox Series X's. What this means is that the console will most likely have quicker loading times than the Xbox Series X, so there's potential for incredible open world and adventure games on PS5. And what are the main three gripes people have about open world games? Loading times, and oh, would you look at that, it's loading times. The amount of time you spend doing nothing but reading tips you've read 300 times already from a loading screen can get pretty ridiculous in open-world games. But with the incredibly fast solid-state drive of the PS5, that will be a thing of the past. You'll be able to fast travel and get in and out of buildings in less than a second as opposed to 30 seconds to a minute. That is a massive difference. In fact, according to Sony, the PS5 is 100 times faster than the PS4, which is just plain nuts. That's the type of jump we want to see from generation to generation. Just imagining what a Horizon Zero Dawn sequel would look like on PS5 has us drooling. It would also be smart for the PS5 to keep pushing virtual reality, since it's something they have that the Xbox Series X doesn't. It's very likely that Sony is working on PSVR 2, exclusively for the PS5. By improving their VR and expanding their game library, Sony could really be onto something with their impressive SSD and PSVR 2. As for Microsoft, well, they're simply going to have to stick to their guns. Up until now, they've revealed so much more information about the Xbox Series X than Sony has with the PS5. On top of that, we know the Series X is a more powerful machine than the PS5, although it's not significantly more powerful. That being said, it does have a higher teraflop count, a more powerful CPU, and a more powerful GPU, so Microsoft has to absolutely make games that push the console to its limit. On paper, the Xbox Series X has the capability of having better graphics than the PS5, so developers should do their best to make that a reality. They should create huge and beautiful worlds that aren't full of useless clutter. They should make gameplay as smooth as possible and try to get games consistently at 120 frames per second, something the PS5 might have a bit more trouble with. If Microsoft wants to put Sony in their rearview mirror, developers are going to have to take full advantage of everything that gives the Series X the edge over the PS5 on the spec sheet. Given everything we know about the Series X, we have very high hopes for Halo Infinite. We know it's going to be intense between Microsoft and Sony as they try to develop the right games for their consoles, and the battle of exclusives was also a major factor in who won this generation's console war. If we're being honest, the PS4 exclusives were way better than the Xbox One exclusives, mainly because of the simple reason that there were more of them. Sony releases multiple great exclusives each year, such as God of War, Uncharted, Horizon Zero Dawn, Marvel's Spider-Man, MLB The Show, and Gran Turismo, among many others. The Xbox One, on the other hand, has fewer noteworthy exclusives. Aside from Forza, Halo, and Gears of War, which all had great games on Xbox One, the exclusives on the console have been somewhat lackluster. Of course, not all the games have been underwhelming, since both Sunset Overdrive and Sea of Thieves were amazing games, but they're just not quite on the same level as the PS4 exclusives. And if you look at the sales numbers, the PS4 is absolutely dominating the Xbox One, with 110 million units sold to its 46.9 million. While many people point to Microsoft's messy launch as the reason why the console didn't do nearly as well as the PS4, you could also point at its exclusive games as a big reason for that. And speaking of launch, we currently have 0 confirmed PS5 exclusives available at launch. That's right, yeah, zero. But Sony's CEO recently promised a compelling lineup of PS5 games, and we believe him, so we won't freak out just yet. Meanwhile, the Xbox Series X has 3 confirmed exclusives at launch: Halo Infinite, Scorn, and The Ascent. Rainbow Six Siege and Fortnite will be playable at launch on both consoles, but we're really looking forward to eventually playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk 2077, Call of Duty Warzone, Destiny 2, Outriders, and many more on the console of our choice. At the end of the day, it's games that make the console, and both the PS5 and Xbox Series X are looking pretty good so far on that front. And that's everything we know about next-gen games and how they'll make a difference in the upcoming console war. Which console do you think will have better exclusives? Let us know in the comments section down below, and don't forget to subscribe to The Gamer for more gaming videos. As always, thanks a lot for watching.